Iran has warned countries against joining what it calls the United States economic war against Tehran. The warning comes as Washington pushes allies to help isolate Iran's economy, and this while diplomatic efforts continue to ease tensions in the region. Iran's Supreme National Security Council Secretary has issued the warning while speaking to state television. He said neighboring countries should not join the US campaign and that any country that participates in economic restrictions against Iran would be considered an enemy. He warned that Iran would harm the interests of countries that refused to distance themselves from Washington.
Any country that takes part in imposing economic restrictions on us will be regarded as an enemy. Of course, we will first negotiate with them. We will hold talks and tell them to step aside and distance themselves from the United States. But if they do not act, we will strike. We will target that country's interests.
Rezai also said Iran had so far targeted only US military bases and not attacked American economic interests. He warned that if Washington imposed further economic sanctions, Iran could strike US oil and economic companies in the region and elsewhere. President Trump has meanwhile warned of severe economic consequences for countries that would provide what he called a lifeline to Iran. Washington has been pressing Iran's major trading partners to join the economic campaign, but not all have agreed. China has criticized the US initiative while arguing that sanctions will not resolve the wider West Asia conflict. The United Arab Emirates, one of Iran's major trading partners, announced this week that it was suspending trade and financial transactions with Tehran until further notice. Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, accused the United States of putting regional allies at risk. In a post on X, Ghalibaf said Iran had received messages from neighboring countries about creating new regional security and economic arrangements. He called for a homegrown and independent regional order to deliver peace and stability. At the same time, diplomatic efforts are on. Egyptian Foreign Minister spoke by phone with Iranian Foreign Minister on Saturday. The two leaders discussed recent developments and efforts to create conditions for a return to diplomacy and de-escalation. Egypt stressed the importance of protecting international navigation and the security of Gulf states. These talks come amid renewed tensions around the Strait of Hormuz. The situation has also led to economic consequences for Iraq. Iraqi president has said that Baghdad is discussing flexibility with Iran over oil exports via the Strait of Hormuz. He said some ships carrying Iraqi oil were being facilitated through the key waterway and that Iraq would not allow its territory to be used to target any state.